How are you?
I'm fine. How's everything here?
I love this kind of. I love Miami.
Great.
What an ass kisser.
Okay. Question. How does Walt Flanagan feel when Clerks fans, come into the store, come into your store and ask for his autograph or photos?
Go on, you
Man,
guys are
come
there.
on.
Come on, Mike.
All right, great. So how does he feel? He is very happy to take pictures with people, sign anything that they throw in front of him. But when you leave the store, that's when they're, no, I'm only kidding. He loves having people in the store. It means they're spending money. And if you don't spend money, that's the key to Walt Flanagan's heart, is through his wallet.
Hey guys.
How you doing?
Howdy.
Listen to the first episode of Why Brian, and Brian mentioned that you had some problems with the producers. Have you wrapped all those issues up? No more slipping in lines, no more like feeding you jokes, no more harassment?
Well, Kevin wrapped it up last season when he fired him towards the end. So, yeah, we won't have to deal with it this year. This year's production team is the same as the first season. And even the first season, we had our first showrunner got fired within 2 days, and then the next guy lasted about a week. He sort of filled in, and then we have this guy Brian Michelle who gets it. He gets the humor of the show. The reason he wasn't there last season was because he was committed to something else. So we got these other three ass clowns who came in and they were going to make the show theirs, and they open up with it's going to be 10 times better than last year, which means that they thought it sucked, So but they hadn't watched any episodes unless I'm mistaken, right?
Yeah, so it was odd. No, they never watched it.
They didn't want their vision tainted by the. Listen, I don't know how they were measuring 10 times better, but good riddance.
And so their premise for this 10 times better was they were going to put less reality in your reality show?
No, what they wanted to do was make us Pawn Stars Junior, and they were going to do the OTF. And Brian, what did you say that every time they got someone in front of the camera, it's like, well, why are you bringing this comic book in today?
Yeah, it's the same answer every time. It's
I need
OTF,
the fucking money.
Which are on-the-fly interviews, and that's when they do the little, we substitute the on-the-fly interviews with the podcast. We talk about the people, we talk about the product that came in or whatever, instead of putting a camera on the person and saying, well, why did you bring this in? To which the answer is inevitably well, I want money, asshole. Of course. That's why I brought it in. Why else would you?
See, that's the part of the show that I really enjoyed for the reality of the show. You guys all know me from hosting this up here, but I actually have a comic book store too. And I will tell you that just like them, after you bring us your comic books and you leave, we talk about you. We do. It's exactly right. That is the most real reality show I've ever watched.
Well, that's slightly different because we talk about them while they're actually standing right there.
Yeah, why save it for later on? It doesn't make any sense.
What's the time difference between seeing someone in the store and then the podcast? I mean, are you remembering yesterday or are you remembering last month?
It depends. It depends on when we had done the transaction, but we do all the podcasting in a couple of days. We split it up over, 2 months?
Yeah, about 2.5 months, and usually we'll podcast maybe 2 weeks after. About two week difference.
Would you guys be interested in making a comic book man movie? I got a plot. You go to Comic-Con, road trip.
How can you have a reality movie?
I don't know, just write a script.
What are you talking about? From Kelly to Justin or whatever? That American Idol movie, right?
Yeah, because everybody should do a road trip movie at some time.
From Ming to Mike. Mike and Ming are in Acapulco. Right?
The road to Comic-Con.
And the rest writes itself.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, two things. Brian, how's your knee doing after the surgery?
It took a little bit, but it's doing a lot better.
Okay,
and it's doing well.
And second, your Ming voice brings me untold joy on Tell Him Steve Dave.
Okay.
Just how long have you been doing that to Ming?
What Ming voice are you talking about?
I guess it started in when we worked. I used to after I stopped running the stash, I started doing all the online stuff for Kevin. So that was when Ming and I worked in the same office. You know, I would do the merchandising and he worked on the website. So I'm sure he annoyed me one day and the Ming voice came out
And it never left.
yeah.
Well, keep up the good work. We tell him Steve and him 11 every week.
Thank you, appreciate that.
You're bringing people joy, dude. You're obscenely racist.
And we're going to give you yet a third, more direct cue. Can you do the Ming voice for us now?
Wow. Bunch of racists in this place.
Oh, how you guys like I sell comics? I'm so starved for attention because my mother didn't love me.
It's so hard to tell the two of you apart.
I know, right? So accurate. It's not funny.
Hi.
Hi.
Do you guys actually go to people's houses and buy the comic books?
We go to people's houses, but we don't buy comic books.
Yeah, you get a lot of calls.
Little B&E, so, you know.
Remember any good calls?
We have gone to people's houses. We have picked up comic books from them, but it's very few and very far between. The one luxury of comic book men is that it allows us to be really picky in what we buy. So I'm not going to go to somebody's house who has, say, 3,000 copies of, you know, the Return of Superman. Not going to happen. So.
Do you also find that if someone is not willing to bring the merch to you, they kind of already know that's not that great?
Yeah, for the most part. They're not motivated sellers.
Yeah, when you go out to them, they're like, I just wanted to know what it was worth. I thought I'd waste your time today.
Pretty much.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
She's awesome.
Brian, why do you make fun of me?
I mean, that answers itself, right? I mean, look at this guy, wouldn't you? He begs for it. The stupid stuff he says, the stupid way he acts. You just trust me. If you were around him, you would make fun of him as well.
Yeah, you have been watching this panel, right?
It's a compulsion that you cannot ignore.
And the reverse question, Ming, why do you let him get away with it?
Why do I let him get away? Look at the guy making fun of me. Look at him. I can take it from this guy. The guy lives in his mom's basement. He's a drug addict.
I haven't lived in a basement.
He's 450 pounds. Come on. I think I can take it.
And yet I'm still cooler than Ming. Like somehow.
It is an interesting dynamic that they treat you like the new guy. And you've been there, what, 12 years, 17 years?
16, but yeah, I am, in that world, yeah, I'm still the new guy.
Yeah, he's the little brother.
Not much staff change over there at the stash.
Not at all, not at all.
That goes to show you it's a good place to work, I guess.
It is.
450
Hi guys,
Hi.
I hope you're enjoying the con, and my question is specifically, since you guys work in a comic book store that specializes like more like Americana comics, like Marvel and DC and things like that, when you go to conventions, especially Ming, I know you get so excited about going to cons and things like that. Like when you start seeing a lot of like anime characters, Japanese characters, Homestucks, and things like that. I know, right? So like, you know, what do you feel about like this new generation that's also being raised on like kind of an idea of like foreign comics and foreign cartoons and things like that?
I think it's great.
The guy's from Ohio. What does he know about being foreign?
I'm actually, you're right. Yeah, I was born in a suburb of Cleveland. People always come up to me and say, man, where were you born? Taiwan? Japan? I was like, no, I was born in Euclid, Ohio. They get this really disappointed look on their face. The anime and manga stuff, I kind of fell into in high school, and I've been out of it. So my kids have been kind of into it. And I think it's great that the Asian cultures are spreading here to America, and you know, one day when the Chinese take over the U.S. and all other countries, and you know, they only spare us Asian people, and people read manga and can speak the language, you guys will be in a good place.
They're never going to recognize you as one of them. Never.
He thinks he's going to be like an ambassador or something. No, not going to happen.
I'm getting spared, man. Get ready. Get ready. They're rolling right over you, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian, my question is directed towards you. Where's that investigative journalism you're always talking about?
Where is it? We're going to be doing some investigating journalism very soon, making Hay 3. Like 3 people know what that means. We do a podcast called Tell 'em Steve Dave, me, Walt, and our other friend Brian Quinn, who's on Impractical Jokers. And twice so far we've gone to the Collinswood auction, and I mean, it's not really investigating so much, it's just asking people stuff.
Like making fun of them?
Yeah, teasing them, and I mean the same stuff we do in the store, except we go out in the field to do it. But this time, that we're not going to go back to the auction, we're going to go to a different setting in which I'm going to be able to interview junkie carnies.
That's going to be great. I remember from the first one you said how it was a slight faux pas.
How many carnies did you have to go through before you found a junkie carny?
One. when Kevin and I worked in Quick Stop, there was a fair that would set up like about 2 blocks away, and we noticed that there are 2 hard, fast rules about carnies. One, they have track marks all over their arms, man. They've got drug issues. The other is they love frozen hamburgers that you can microwave. Like, we would go through cases and cases of these things. I don't know why. I don't know where they developed a taste for them, but love them. And I don't know. To me, that's interesting, man. That sort of, like, you're trusting these guys to put together rides that your kids are going to be on in 2 minutes, you know?
I personally have a policy. I never go on a ride from a company that's not big enough to sue. Like Disney. Disney's afraid to get sued. There's a safety engineer there. But the traveling carnival that came down the... No.
Way more interesting to talk to, though, I bet. The traveling carnies.
What was your most interesting traveling carny story?
I mean, I don't really have any. I'm not a traveling carny. I aspire to be one. I hope someday I can be.
I meant guy with track marks wandered into your store and this happened.
I mean, that was over 20 years ago. I don't really remember.
Well, I mean, the stories those guys must have. I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to hear it.
Making Hay 3, you'll hear all their stories.
Again, it's really great that you guys are doing what you're doing, and I love your podcast.
Thank you.
I wasn't talking to you.
Hey guys, so I noticed in season 2 that you guys changed the counter. Was there any reason behind that? Like the area where you put the counter for...
Yeah, there was a reason for that. The counter up front, it sucked light from outside, so it made shots really, really bad, really, really bright. So we went into the dankness of the store and used the natural darkness there. So we lit in the center of the store, and it's just a lot more photogenic, don't you think?
Yeah, a little more room to move back there. All 4 of us.
Hey guys, just wanted to say hi. It's an honor to meet you. I just have one question. What inspired your run on Swamp Thing, Mr. Moore?
Sit down.
I love you.
Brian says sit down, I snatch the mic.
He waited in line for that.
Seriously, Brian's embarrassed for both of you, all right? Oh my God, he's going out of the, bye. He's like, I'm going over to Kay's Q&A. You guys suck.
Out of everything that was brought in the stash, what is your favorite?
Everything, the whole kit and caboodle, all the cool stuff that came in. I'm still a huge fan of the $6 Million Man doll.
I think if you watch his show, Guy brought in a giant Millennium Falcon. It was the one that used to hang in Toys R Us stores around 1997 when the Power of the Force line came out. And I was collecting back then. Used to see it up on the ceiling and owned that one day. And it's at the store now. It's not really mine, but
Ming lives in it.
You cut it open and pretend to fly in it. It's awesome. I love that thing. You got a favorite?
Not really. There was one girl that came in season 2 that I liked, but...
Walt didn't buy her for him.
What's up, Bright? Mike, how you doing?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Hey, babe. So I have a really great wife. For our anniversary this year, she got me what is my holy grail of comics, which was Flash number 123. So I was wondering what each of your, like, the holy grail, that one that you needed to get, what that was.
Brian, how about we start with you? Because comic book questions.
I don't care about any of that crap. I just talk to these guys. If my girlfriend bought me a comic for our anniversary, I'd break up with her.
Well, I mean, there was something later that night, too. So.
Okay. Stop bragging, man. There's little kids here.
It was dinner.
Okay.
You have a holy grail? You had holy grails.
I've owned holy grails, and I'm not gonna bring these people down. Come on. Actually, if I were able to own something, it'd probably be Avengers number 4.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Why that one?
Because
First it's a Captain American cigarette.
No, second, but you're close.
I stand corrected.
Good man. Ming?
I mean, I'll take any big, huge key issue. These days, my collection, I got married, I had dwindled some of it. Now the great thing is working at the store, I can read comics and put them back. It's kind of like a comics candy store. So yeah, I don't have to waste space on my own. I don't have to spend money. It's great.
So now anytime we see a comic at the stash that's got a little mark on it, we know it's because you read it.
Pretty much, my hands sweat a lot. Right. Yeah, I mean, that's either a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if that raises or
decreases. Yeah, Chen DNA, just what you want in your comic.
Yes, perfect. Exactly.
Thanks, guys.
Better than an autograph.
I wanted to ask if Cryptozoic Man is it only going to be sold in the stash?
No, it's going to be Cryptozoic Man's going to be solicited through Diamond. I think the first issue comes out in September, so you'll be able to get it wherever, I suppose.
Can I ask something kind of specific about Vulgar?
Ooh. Sure.
Why did you cut out the scene at the end where the police confirmed that the case is closed?
The movie Vulgar, which I wrote and directed a long time ago. Why did we cut the scene where
he's reading the newspaper and it says the police think the case is closed?
I don't know. How does it end? I haven't watched it in so long. I don't remember.
It ends kind of ambiguous.
I had a drug problem, dude. Get off my back. My mind is shot.
All right, so he's found a scene in the deleted scene.
Oh, the deleted scene.
That's why he knows it exists. So I guess his question is, what was the reasoning behind that scene ending up on the cutting room floor?
How does it end now? I really honestly don't remember.
The reason I ask is it ends ambiguously or whatever, and I was wondering if you wanted to kind of leave it open whether Vulgar could still be tracked down by the police or not.
Yeah, that.
All right, thank
you. Is this your dream job? And if you could, would you be doing this the rest of your life?
You talking to me?
You mean going to cons and hanging out on a stage?
Well, actually, we're gonna ask you about all three, okay? Because you go to cons, you work in the store, and now you're TV stars. So which of those three?
We're on TV.
Okay.
Not TV.
For that half hour, you're a star.
That's what I don't understand. It's like if you're on a reality show, like, oh, they're a reality star. If you're in porno, it's like, oh, you're a porn star. But if you're in movies, you're just an actor, right? Unless you're like up there.
I mean, like a movie star?
I don't think you should necessarily attach star to it. Especially with these two.
Is this your dream job though? Is this something you? I mean, this I don't know about dream jobs. This isn't something I like worked years for and aspired toward. But it is. It's goddamn is it fun though? It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could craft a better job for myself than sitting around with my friends, shooting the shit, and getting paid for it. So, I mean, thank God I don't have to work regular hours like retail, because that would totally ruin it. But the other part's pretty good, yeah. Dream job, though? I don't know. I always wanted to be a ballerina. I don't think that's going to happen for me.
Your dream job is no job at all.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, so this kind of sucks, I guess.
For me, I've already had a real job. I had a real career separate from being a comic book guy.
Which was?
I was a chef. I worked in restaurants for a very long time, for almost 14 years. Yeah, you got one guy who's clapping, the other people like shaking their heads going, that guy touched my food. Touched and a couple other things, folks. No, I swear to God I didn't. But, you know, you're working 15 hours a day. You get out at 4 o'clock in the morning. There's limited things you could do. You know, it kind of sucked. It kind of sucked the life out of me. And so when this came up, it was perfect for me. So I am actually living the dream right now. This is my dream job. Being a chef, sucked. Being comic book man, good.
If you like Mike, everybody.
So you would be okay, all three of you basically, doing this for the rest of your life as long as you could?
No. I don't really like being on TV that much, you know. So I mean, I don't think I would want to do this for the next 20 years, right? I mean, can you imagine like comic book men last longer than The Simpsons?
That would be kind of horrible. Sitting, like 3 octogenarians sitting up here talking about, oh, something came into the stash today. I had oatmeal for breakfast. That's pretty much what you get out of it.
Yeah, why not though?
Although I do believe at 75 I'll still be doing the main voice. I don't think that'll change.
Exactly. Why not? What would really change besides our appearances?
I don't know.
You could have an item come in the store that's 40 years old, but you sold it to the guy in the first place.
Right.
Oh, I remember when you bought this.
No refunds.
All right, my question's for all three of you. What is your favorite Kevin Smith movie and why?
I guess we'll start with me. My first Kevin Smith movie, I didn't see Clerks. And, no, I mean, I have seen Clerks since. I hadn't seen Clerks and I saw Mallrats first. And it spoke to me because of all the comic book references. And, you know, back in the 90s, we didn't have a lot of that. And I was a really big fan from the get-go. And we used to shop in the same comic book shop. It was Comixology. And the guy, the original Steve Dave, was an awful human being who would follow you around. And I swear to God, the store was no bigger than the bathroom over there. But he was like right over your shoulder watching what you were picking up. And he smelled like purple. I can't put it any better than that.
He wore a lot of purple. It was a strange fashion choice where he would wear like purple sweatpants and purple sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Like a grape or grimace or some shit, you know?
Or the Joker?
Mix and match. They didn't match.
The Joker.
Horrible. But he kept telling me, oh, you've got to watch this movie that one of my clientele has directed and written. He sounded exactly like the comic book guy, swear to God.
From The Simpsons?
From The Simpsons, yeah. Not the comic book men. There's a big difference.
God, man. There'll be a sequel, Comic Book Boys.
But I didn't see it because he kept telling me how good it was. I'm like, this guy's an ass. He doesn't know anything, so. But I saw Mallrats, and I didn't know Kevin had done it, so. Huge fan of it, and then I went back and watched Clerks. And oddly enough, he was right. It was really good.
Clerks will definitely be always my favorite. I was working in video school when I first heard about it. When the movie first came in, and I watched it. And that's the one I always relate most to. Chasing Amy is a close second, only because of one line. There's a line in there that said, all the bitches and sluts went to Middletown North. That's where my wife went to school.
Yeah, for me it would be Clerks 2. Not Clerks 2, Clerks as well. Simply because, you know, it was very reflective of the time that Kevin and I spent there. You know, it's like he captured the tone and the mood of everything.
Hi guys, how you doing? When Stan Lee came to the store, were there any questions you weren't able to ask?
No. I mean, I hate to tell you, but no, I didn't have any. He answered every question that we had.
Yeah, I think that was how great it was. No matter how stupid he answered it. And I had a lot of stupid questions.
Yeah, you did.
I asked him for his social security number and banking information. He wouldn't answer that. So.
Really gave them to me?
Hey guys, Brian Quinn on season 3. Any?
Unlikely. Brian Quinn, a third of Tell 'em Steve Dave is on a show called Impractical Jokers on True TV, and they're pretty clear. True TV that he's
AMC
not allowed.
Don't want him on, but
True.
sneak them in the back. I remember you guys mentioning Tell 'em Steve Dave shirt maybe in the crowd.
We tried to do it first season and he got cut out.
Oh really? So you guys actually snuck?
We gave it a shot.
Oh, this
Yeah.
fucks.
Always trying, but yeah, they seem very adamant about not having him anywhere, which stinks. We love him.
How did you come to be friends with him?
Quinn was a fan of Kevin's, and I guess he was like he was young, he was like 20, 21, somewhere around there, and he had gone to a mall that wouldn't carry the Mallrats book, a bookstore in the mall that wouldn't carry the Mallrats book, so he took a tape recorder and recorded himself. Hey, no high-fiving.
Homestuck, Homestuck, you guys gotta chill down here. We're picking you up on the microphones.
Yeah, chill, Homestuck. So he went into the store with a tape recorder and gave the clerk there a bunch of crap and screaming at him, calling him names and that kind of stuff. And then he sent the tape to Kevin, who of course liked it, and gave him a job as an intern at USQ. He would what do you call that?
He's
an intern,
Yeah,
I guess you call it.
Grabbing coffee,
that kind of
people's
stuff.
lunches, making copies.
Yeah, and then he started to, before I took the website over, he started, mailing out merchandise when Kevin first got his online presence. So yeah, that's how we came to know Q.
So he wasn't a firefighter at the time during that?
Oh no, he didn't become a firefighter until over a decade later, right?
Yeah, he's had all kinds of weird jobs, hasn't he? He was a toll collector at one point.
Yeah, he worked at a toll booth, and his favorite moment was, I guess, Jennifer Connelly went through, and he said she was really pretty.
Marvel is coming out with a lot of new movies lately, and after the Avengers, they have a lot of money. So which new projects are you most excited about to see come to the screen?
What project from Marvel are they most excited to see? Movie-wise, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have to say that Guardians of the Galaxy is probably the one that I'm looking forward to the most. Hey, we even got one of these home people down here. All right, yeah.
I'm looking forward to Avengers 2. Heard Robert Downey Jr. is back. He signed in. He's in. So can't wait to see that one. I don't. Do you have an opinion?
No, I don't care.
No.
Brian doesn't care.
Do you go to watch comic book movies? Did you see Iron Man?
No.
Man of Steel? No interest at all.
I don't really go to the movies. It's too expensive. The movies generally suck. And I don't know, I find TV to be better these days. Like it used to be, you wanted to go to the theater to see movies because they were superior to TV in terms of quality, but you have so many series now that are so well done, so well written and produced that, I don't know, I would rather sit there and burn through a season of Breaking Bad or Battlestar Galactica or something, than go to a theater and spend, like the tickets are, I think the other day I did go see something recently. Tickets were $18, and you got popcorn and soda for you and whomever, and it's like $29.
Where were you going? It was $18.
Sony. So that's like $9 a ticket, right?
$9
I thought you meant each.
Oh my God, I'm on a panel with my father now.
I know. Fucking doddering old
Is there a part of you that doesn't go to see these movies because everybody else is?
Nah, I don't care about that. Not that rebellious, for Christ's sakes.
But now when you were talking about television, what about our comic books on television, like Arrow or Smallville? Not an impression. All right, but I'm going to make a third attempt to get an answer out of Brian. In your time at the store, what have you noticed has changed about the comic book business? How's the store different now from the beginning?
It seems to me like maybe the industry's become a little bit more streamlined. Because like in the 90s into even the late 90s, like there were a lot of titles coming out, a lot of stuff being produced, and it seems that with the advent of like, you know, iPads and all that stuff you can read digitally, maybe not as many people are going and buying the hard copies. And I guess after, what was it, like the late 80s to the early 90s, companies just, like, that was the heyday really for the industry, right? So they just weren't making the money that they were making, so companies went under, like Chaos. Like when I first started working at the Stash, Evil Ernie was big, and Chaos was selling a lot of titles, but just in time, I guess, you know, the new generation, there's just so much more now. Like when we were young, it's like you had like 3 or 4 things to do. Now it's, you know, iPad or Game Boy or Xbox or TV or movies. It's like there's so many different forms of media just trying to grab your attention. It's texting, you know, just go sit there and text. What's with that?
I have a twofold question for each of you. For anything that's come into the store, whether it's a new product from Diamond or something that you picked up from a person, was there ever an item where you said, oh, this is going to be awesome, we need 100 copies of this, and for reasons you can't explain, it just didn't fly? And then of course the reverse is, you're like, who's ever going to buy this? And then it flew off the shelves. What product or title or book surprised you the most at its high or low sales?
That's a good question. There was, oh my God, I'm trying to think back. DC, the Silver Age, they put out one of those 5th week books that it harkened back to the Silver Age of DC Comics, and that Golden Age or Silver Age creators on them again. And I thought that was going to be a lot bigger than it was, but the quality wasn't really there, so people picked up on that and said, I don't want it. So we were stuck with a lot of those. The one that I think surprised the hell out of me, how fast it flew off the shelves, was Civil War. Yeah.
You didn't have high hopes for that, and then all of a sudden it just...
No, you know what, I thought, you know, Mark Miller had run his course. I'm like, all right, he's done. But I was wrong.
Ming?
I don't know if I think you answered that. No, I haven't answered it. Mike's got all the numbers. I think the thing about Mike and Walt, it's almost like picking fantasy football. They're very good at predicting what will and won't sell, and they order the numbers to exact, so they don't have any overhead, any waste. They're making money. They're great at making money that way, and it's almost like they're spot on. Walt's almost like a Jimmy the Greek of comic books. He's got his lock of the week, his picks of the week.
That's true.
And you guys are pretty good.
That's a big lock.
Walter's gonna need an ass cheek replacement. This dude smooches his butt so much.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that somebody could kiss so much ass from like 1,200 miles away, right?
So practiced.
What about you, Brian? Especially since you've been doing this longer.
What surprised me?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that people buy comics at all. No, I mean, like, say something like Walking Dead. That wasn't a huge run in the beginning, right? Did that sell fast? I mean, I remember it was a small print run the first.
Very small print run.
What is Homestar? Can you just tell me what Homestar is real fast?
It's a webcomic.
Oh, it's a webcomic? Home what?
Yes.
Home stuff?
Stuck. They are stuck at home.
Stuck?
Home stuck.
All right.
That home stuff or home stammer, not just home stuck.
Stuck.
Cool. Good luck with that.
But
and I like the fact that you guys all scooched down again. That was
I changed my mind. Home stuck surprised the hell out of me.
It did.
I didn't think it'd be this big.
I didn't think it'd be this big either. Yes, it was amazing.
Since I heard about it 45 seconds ago.
Right.
You know what? Actually, thinking back, you know what was a big surprise was the Pokemon cards. The Pokemon card craze of like, God, I guess it was the late '90s, right? That was big. Where on an average day you would get 30 calls, 35 calls. Move it along, Homestuck. Go on now.
Hopefully we'll find the end of the line.
Go on.
Let's see.
Oh wow, that line goes all the way out there? Oh well. So we were in the rare event that you could get a case of, or a box of...
Thank you so much.
Now you must
realize there's... in the rare event that you could get Pokemon cards, we could sell them for $8 or $9 for a pack. Walt went to KB Toys one time looking for, because we would buy them from KB and then resell them at the store. And Walt went to KB once looking for them and overheard one of the stock people tell another person that was working there that the cards would be in later that afternoon and that they were going to save them for their friend Mark. So Walt waited until...
You don't have to walk on your knees, sweetie.
Walt waited until the shipment came in, quickly got there, said that he was Mark, and bought an entire case of Pokemon cards. Stole his identity, I guess, in a way, right?
Yeah, I mean, Walt's pulled a lot of tricks to...
It looks like we found the end of the line.
Nice.
There, get the fuck out.
We all got to get along at the con, different fans and different things.
Is it okay if I can ask 3 questions?
Yes, it's the line short.
Thank you, God. All right. One, what do you think of webcomics like Homestuck? And what do you think of Homestuck and Homestuck fans?
Hold on. Did you not, were you not listening when they said they didn't know what it was before 45 seconds ago?
I think that was his joke, right?
I wish I would have invented it. It looks like this Homestuck guy's cleaning up.
What is it? What is Homestuck? It's a web comic, but what do you, like, why are they lined up? To meet the person who created it?
The artist.
Oh, okay.
And why is
I don't know if it was
like
like a role-playing thing or something.
The last couple of conventions, the kids have been dressing up, and we noticed it was popular. And so I said, well, we've got to get this guy. We've got to find out why so many kids dress up like him. And it took off. It's on my to-do list to actually read it.
Next year, you're going to be in that line.
Yeah.
I'll look great with blue and the candy corn horns.
So what's the biggest craze that you guys have been able to milk at the store? I remember you mentioning in previous podcasts the Star Wars figures. Was that like the biggest boom in the comic book industry of Walt sneaking to other stores? And
I think it was methamphetamine.
Yeah, that was real.
There was a big boom for a while. Walt was cooking it up in the basement.
With the homeless guy, right?
Yeah.
That's his friend in the trailer.
I think that the thing that they milked the most while I was there were the Pokemon cards.
Yeah, wasn't there a period, I don't know if this was a craze, but you guys were selling bootleg videotapes at the store?
No. Can't do that.
Somebody else was selling bootlegs.
The South Park Spirit of Christmas, when their little greeting card thing came out, somehow one got sent to Kevin's office, and it was like a 5-minute little video. And we booted it up, and I wouldn't be surprised if we sold like 1,000 copies of it. We sold it for $10, little 5-minute video, because back then obviously the internet wasn't popular. People didn't know how to download stuff, so that might have been it.
You're just walking away. You don't want to know about the other one. We also had Marvel Legends. Marvel Legends were huge. Yeah. Walt would send us out. Sunday, Jeff and I would go out on scouting runs. And I even got a job at a Target doing overnight packing. So, I mean, this man is Machiavellian.
Dedicated man, Mike.
Explain to the crowd what Marvel Legends was.
Marvel Legends were these, 6 3/4-inch action figures, and the sculpts were superior in every way to Toy Biz, who were the leaders in action figure, especially for Marvel. And Marvel came out with Marvel Legends, and we couldn't keep them on the shelves. And what Walt would do would be to send us, and now here's the genius. He noticed that Toys R Us would just have their own little label that said Marvel Legends on it, and didn't differentiate from any of the characters. So for any one of them that were in there, and the dogs would go back.
I saw that kind of genius in the paper the other day, where the person got arrested for felony theft and
but
switching UPCs and stuff.
No, we didn't switch UPCs because they did finally catch on, which kind of, you know, broke the Kingpin's spirit there. And but yeah, we made a bundle off of Marvel Legends.
You were buying them retail from Target?
We buy retail, and then we would return the ones that wouldn't sell. So.
And you were able to mark up the others in the store?
Of course.
Because Target would have to run out.
Target had them, Toys R Us had them, and they had the Chase figures, which were the short packed, 1 per case or 1 per 6 cases. So you get that translucent vision, which you can mark up to, you know, $85, because there's always someone who's going to pay for it. Don't try it at home, folks. Don't try it at home.
Have you found the reverse problem that Diamond or Alliance has you ordering, and because you have to plan ahead 2-3 months to bring in these figures, and it's a $25 figure?
Did you enjoy the rave last night?
Did I enjoy the rape?
Rave.
The rave.
The rave.
I was like, I thought we were keeping that between us. No, you know what? I sit there and I'm like, I wish that I had whatever these people have inside them, like the ability to enjoy life, I guess it would be called. Because they're having such a good time, like wearing glow-in-the-dark necklaces and spinning shit around. And I mean, I don't know, is ecstasy still popular? Is that what you take ecstasy when you go to a rave? Or all you, what?
Molly's is the new.
Oh, that's the, Molly's, okay. That's what you were taking, Molly? She's like 10.
Do you have any extra? Is anyone holding?
Yeah, you don't look like a narc or anything, Frank.
No. Just the hairstyle makes me look like a cop.
Yeah. Basically, I just stood on the outskirts wondering what it was like to feel like a real human being, and then I left.
Yeah, this question is for Brian. Since you've been a great director, you ever thought about directing a black comedy?
A black comedy? It's interesting you should bring that up, because I do have some African-American blood in I think it was like my great-great-great aunt married a black dude, so I know our struggle, brother. I know it, right? Yeah, I don't know. I talked about this yesterday in the Tell 'em Steve Dave Q&A. When I did Vulgar, we got into the Toronto Film Fest, and at the same time, Requiem for a Dream was there. What's his name's movie? What's his name? What's that?
Aronofsky.
Yeah. And I saw that, and then I put it side by side Vulgar, and I was like, who do I think I am? Like, this dude's a fucking genius. This movie is awesome, you know? I don't, like, I did it because Kevin was like, hey, you want to make a movie? And being an arrogant dick, of course I was like, sure, why not, you know? As opposed to, like, really respecting the medium. So I think I would much rather just write, you know, not really try to do something I genuinely don't feel I'm qualified to do, you know?
You screwed it up, dude. You didn't have any ass-to-ass in the movie.
If we had ass-to-ass, I believe I would be an A-lister in Hollywood right now.
I was wondering, since you guys are comic book men, and this is Con, what superpower would you pick if you could pick one? This is all three of you guys.
Start in the middle, Ming.
Mine? I always wanted to fly. I always wanted to fly. You don't have to worry about travel tickets, all that crap. But invisibility is a close second. Do I have to say why? I mean,
yeah, I think we know.
Yeah, I think you know.
You got some mollies for Ming? Make him fly. You know? All right. I'd want telekinesis. I think it's pretty cool because you can fly with it. You do a crap load of other things with it.
I think I would take, like, say, Green Arrow's powers, so I could shoot these two douchebags out of the sky as they flew around.
How you doing, guys? Well, seeing as how everything's starting to become digital, not from a business standpoint, but how do you guys personally feel about it? Do you condone it? Are you with it? Like, especially like comic books and everything like that, being able to just download it now instead of actually buying a physical copy.
I don't do it. I know that this guy does, because he's a traitor to everything that I stand for. You know what? I believe in, you know, having. I remember being a kid and walking into somebody's house, and you're like, I smell comic books. You know? Yeah, the three old guys in the back are laughing. It's what would happen.
That's like comics. That's Grandpa slowly rotting to death.
All right, sometimes I was wrong, but I just love having a comic book in my hand. It just takes me back. So, do I think that digital's here to stay? Sure, until technology fails us. So, and I don't think that it's ever going to go out of style to have the actual, print comic.
Yeah, I'm not a trader. I mean, can you imagine?
Yes, you are.
Can you imagine wanting a song in this day and age and having to go to the record store and going there and they might not even have it?
You work across the street from a record store.
I know, but it's like, midnight. There's no record store open for another 10 hours. Can you imagine having to go to the store and buying it and taking it home instead of
You
just
went
pressing the
38 years without that song. All of a sudden you need it in that moment. You can't wait another fucking couple hours?
I don't like to wait. That's the point. I want my book now. I want my music now. And that's where it comes in. That's where it's great.
Yeah, I sort of agree with you. It's I have a very impulsive type personality, so if I want something in that moment, the instant gratification, yeah, it's nice to be able to do it.
Hey guys.
Howdy.
I got a question. Most rare, expensive comic books are not really the best in comic book. Superman, the first issue is not like the greatest. It's not Watchmen. What is the most overrated, expensive comic book you ever read from a story's perspective, not from a collector's perspective?
I think if you read Amazing Fantasy 15, you read the first appearance of Spider-Man. It's not that great. Peter Parker's really whiny, and I don't know. What do you think?
I think you're really whiny.
Yeah, it's just.
But he starts answering so non-committal, he bails halfway through. He's like, I don't know, what do you think, Mike?
Here you go. I think he's actually kind of right, because Amazing Fantasy 15 is worth what? $42 billion now? Is that the going rate? It's up there, but you're only getting 8 pages of an origin story. So think about that. You're getting another 2 stories in there, but pound for pound, you're just paying for that 8 pages.
Hi guys.
Howdy.
Hi. So, for each one of you, what is your most memorable, crazy moment of Muse?
Go ahead, Brian.
I mean, crazy? It's not really crazy, but some of my most memorable moments with Muse are when we first started hanging around with them. Kevin, Walter, and we would go to comic book shows, and the first time we brought him, Kevin didn't want him to go, because Kevin was like, hey, who's this new guy? None of us are very welcoming to outside people. We're so super tight. But Walt was like, he's pretty funny, and I knew Muse's older brother, so I was like, yeah, he's okay. And we went to a comic book show, and for the next, went to the show, and then on the way back for the next 2 hours, we just relentlessly pummeled him and mocked him about how he was, giving sexual favors for comics to this disfigured comic book seller that happened to be at the con. And looking back, it is kind of weird that 3 adult males took a 14-year-old kid across state lines and then went on to berate him for his sexuality for 2 straight hours. But those are some of the best memories I have with him now. They're so goddamn funny.
Good news story?
I actually do. Before I was working at the comic shop, I was a reservist, and I remember coming in one of the very first times, and he was behind the counter, and I didn't know that Jay had a drug problem, and he asked me to watch the store for 5 minutes, and I put in my first full shift at Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash.
You weren't even on the books.
I wasn't even on the books.
I'm still waiting for him to pay me back. So I don't think it's happening.
Alright, so you take one character from book, movie, or television. What character or series would you absolutely boot stomp into obscurity and its fan base? Just absolutely hate
Homestuck.
That's a good one.
I get it.
What's up?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Good, man. How about yourself? How you like here in Florida?
Love it.
That's good. I just have one question to ask. Now, for you guys and Kevin Smith, and I know another cast member not here right now, but if you guys had to fight to the death, and I mean fight to the death, and you only could pick one weapon from any universe of comic book universe, what would it be for each of you?
Are we fighting each other to the
Yes,
death?
each other. No teammates, nothing. Just each other to the death.
I mean, I guess I would pick a gun from this universe, right?
A comic book like Marvel or DC. One of
It's
those
weird.
two.
We get that question a lot. It's like fighting to the death.
We're all fighting each other to the
Yeah.
death all the time.
And
I think we would all get along. We would. We would
probably
just.
kill you.
We would embrace polygamy and make it be our wife.
True.
I think it's obvious that Brian would not kill Ming because that would be too merciful. You just keep injuring him every day.
Slowly, you're slowly killing him now.
1,000 cuts.
Hey guys, Ming?
Yes.
Did Jay ever pay you back?
No, he did not.
You just fucking said that. That's what I figured.
Jay doesn't pay anybody back. You'll meet people from like 10 years ago. He used to bump just $5 from each person and get kind of a big nut that way. And it's not happening. So I gotta be at cons like this selling my soul to get that money back. So come meet us at booth 839 and need my money back.
All right, Supercon, a big round of applause for the comic book men. Booth 839. Check it out. See him on over there.
Power to the people. Down with Whitey.